All right, yeah, I just don't want to get too fancy with the camera. Oh gosh, I'm very eager to, like I've said before, to get that fancy remote controlled camera properly mounted over the ceiling, on the ceiling, but it's a heavy sucker, so I've got to really make sure that I do it properly. Anyways, so I'm using the cam thingamajig, and I don't want to yet again put it on a funky thing, so I'm just going to go with the best angle I have. I'm just going through some games that I hopefully I'm going to have at least played before 2025 kicks in, and the rest primarily are going to be from 2025 onwards, and we'll see how it goes. So this one, I hope I'm going to get this done. This is the yeah, I'm not going to play a full game. I'm just going to do a few turns. I just want to understand the mechanisms, the chit pull, and also the these contact boxes and the hexes, and how movement and combat takes place, and so on and so forth. It seems really interesting. A lot of counters, but as I've said before in a previous video, a lot of these counters on the right-hand side are actually duplicates, in a sense of, you know, they go into a chit, and then you pull out, if you get that chit, you can then, you know, pull out those reinforcements or what have you. Hold on here. Yeah, I think I've got something in the ductwork with the furnace kicking in, and I've got to get them cleaned because I've got some allergens. So anyways, that's going to be one game I want to certainly get around to playing. So I'm just going to move it off here, which I call my lazy general, and I'll move it off to the side for now, and we'll go to the next game I'm considering playing in 2025. So this game is Tannenberg. I've played it a long time ago. I enjoyed it. Well, obviously so much so that I ended up making a giant version of the map. And you can see, I mean, this is the original. And it was the very first time I've ever played a fire and movement system game from Decision Games. Oddly enough, it's a modified version of the fire and movement system. It's for World War II. This was designed or adapted by Eric Harvey, who also did Patton's First Victory, which happens to be my first hex and counter game when I got back into it. I've been playing miniatures for ages, like you can see here. So I got my local game person here, the custom game bits, to make some nice big chunky a la Blue Panther type counters. They're huge, and I enjoyed the game enough that obviously I you know, went and made a bigger map and counters. That being said, I do remember having some difficulties with the rules, which I've had before with Decision Games, the Folio games. I also say this about the Tannenberg game for Decision Games. It is a proper Tannenberg game in the sense that it's just the Russian Second Army. There's no Russian First Army here. That type of thing. It's a wonderful map. I remember the command and control system with the artillery of the headquarters. There's something about it. Anyways, I enjoyed it. The thing is, why I'm bringing it back is because, well, I want to put this to rest, kind of thing, get it out of my system, if you want to call it that. And I remember also that I mentioned, I brought this up with the Grog Shed, and the Grog Shed said he actually didn't enjoy this game. So I was going to play another one of the Decision Games, Folio games, the adapted fire and movement system for the Great War. Perhaps Lus or Vimy Ridge or Suez 1916. But I'm going to go back to this Tannenberg one, which I think is going to be neat, and it'll also kind of segue into the other one, which I've been wanting to play for quite a long time. To be honest with, well, my version, it's all relative, isn't it? A long time is the test series games by, I guess, SPI or whatever, or what ends up becoming SPI or whatever. Anyways, it's Tannenberg. There's no zones of control, which is totally cool. And as you can see, it was very reminiscent of the Der Weltkrieg. If you stuck Der Weltkrieg, the Tannenberg and the Galicia maps together, it's very similar. You know what I mean? Like in what it's showing, it's really neat. So here's the original counters that I got off of, pilfered off of BGG. The problem is that with the gray on gray map and these gray counters, I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. So I ended up making some newer ones. Thankfully, I've got two maps. This is a slightly larger one. So here's my new German ones, which I think are way better than the old. And also slightly larger, as you can see. So I think they'll come out nicer. I'll try to move it down. And so due to the fact that they were also slightly larger, I decided to redo the Russian ones. Unfortunately, I forgot to sharpen the image with the Russians, so they're not as sharp as the German ones, but still not bad. Hold on, I'll bring it down a bit so you can see, I hope. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Like I said, I've wanted to play this game for quite some time. So there you go. You can see, I think yeah, you can see the originals, or you know what I mean, the original. I mean, they're all homemade counters, but there you go. Yeah, I think mine are these. The German ones with the slightly blue are going to be a lot better than these gray ones, for sure. So this is one game I definitely want to be playing in 2025. I'm not going to be doing this 10 games in a year bit. There's no way. I mean, my God, I barely play my normal game. So that's like, you know, my narrative game and so on and so forth. Speaking of which, we will be talking about one game that it's just an ongoing game that I will be playing from now until the end of time, as far as I'm concerned, and it's this one over here. I've mentioned it before, you've seen it before. Yeah, it's still just sitting there. It's the Soldiers game, and I'm so grateful that I actually decided to give that a go. We'll zoom in a little bit more, even though it's not really, I mean, people know what I'm talking about. I've kind of got one of the battles set up for Battle of the Four Rivers. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know what you're really looking at. Yeah, this is going to be an ongoing game that I'll be playing for sure. Just due to the fact I really enjoy it. I'm really grateful that I decided to give it a go. I knew I was going to pick it up just because it's a great war-related game. I'm just shocked that I actually gave it a go due to the fact that it's a tactical game and so on and so forth. I'm just fortunate enough that it's easy enough to understand game. It's got a ton of scenarios. I just find it extremely approachable, very adaptable. Like I said, I've wanted to do this with soldiers in Africa, that I call it anyways. I really, really, really like that game, and I'm super duper looking forward to other people playing it. Darn it, I know Manu Mike gave me the choice of that game or another for one of his 10 for 10 or whatever, and I asked for Patton's First Victory, and I was like kind of regretting sometimes in some ways of the fact that he won't be playing. But I think he's going to be also happy that I decided to pick Patton's First Victory due to the fact that it's a lot quicker gameplay than the other one. So at least that way he doesn't have to deal with the fact of, yeah, he'll just be happier. He can get through 10 games a lot quicker than if he was playing Soldiers, even though I think I'd get, well, I think he will eventually. Come on. So what was the other, there should be another game I should be popping on. Oh yes, of course. Hold on here. I can just pop these. Actually, should have just left them on there. Hold on. Bring them back. Yeah, and I'll take a look at what you're going. So this game I've been looking forward to. Like I said, I've been watching Clark Commando 1983 do his playlist. I got this game for a steal, and it's shocking where I got it from. And for the shipping as well. So I ended up getting Guns of August, and this is the second edition. And I ended up getting, believe it or not, after tax, after shipping, because I don't pay tax, because I got it from Noble Knight. I got this for $85 Canadian, and they said it's complete. I was really, really thoroughly impressed. As you know, you can download the 4th edition and the 3rd edition and the augmented edition or something like that, or whatever it's called, on BGG and whatnot. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is a strategic level thing. Yes, I know you can get, Brian R. Smith was mentioning that, and Charles Latour has also played it, the Axis, was it Empires and Alliances from Compass, and it's supposedly a cleaned up version and better counters and so on and so forth. But it's a much bigger footprint, and it's way more expensive at this moment in time, and from the local stores I can get it from, they're both sold out. So, and I'm you know what, I'm kind of like, I really kind of do like this old school look to it. I think the other game that I have that I played a long time ago that is under perhaps this level, at this level, is this game, if I can find it. And this actually I played quite a long time ago. One of the very first games I played after when I started sinking my teeth into getting into the Great War. Pretty sure this is kind of like a strategic level game, and I watched the playlist by Steve Dolgis there quite a long time ago, and he enjoyed it, recommended it, and I ended up. It's a good. Wasn't that expensive as well, based on what it's a mounted map, the whole 9 yards. If you're into that, not really doesn't really do anything for me, but for other people it does. So I'm really looking forward to giving this a go for some reason. Watching Clark Commando 1983, he really enjoyed it. Mike Ruggiero, he really enjoyed playing it. Kilroy was here, had mentioned it, that he had played it quite often. I just want to see this at I would like to try a strategic level where there's got that hex encounter combat feel to it. I'm quite interested in seeing what that's like. What else? Of course, I'm still going to want to play. I'm still going to be giving my offset grid of offset squares a go. I also ended up finally printing out my PDF version of One Dice World War I here, and which I'd like to incorporate with this. I think I've mentioned before with some people, I'd like to incorporate that with the Never Going Home. So I kind of, and as well as, it's just ideas in a sense of, oh, hold on here, I gotta find it. It's over here. Is this. Incorporating all three of those things kind of thing. So using essentially the rule system of One Dice World War I with a backdrop of kind of like Stranger Things, which I find Never Going Home is. Stranger Things meets the Great War, and have this espionage bent to it. I want to base it, as I've mentioned before, to other people. I want to, base it in St. John's, Newfoundland, which was a British colony, not part of the Canadian Dominion and all that stuff. And I want to have I don't know, like I said, German intrigues with U-boats, and maybe they've got that's where they're, getting some of their refueling station and so on. And so I want to get into that type of stuff, as well as have this weird kind of H.P. Lovecrafty type thing going on. Why not? There's lots of neato things that would, let's have some fun with a simple, or I shouldn't say simple, but an easy, not going to spend 300 years to try to understand rules, which I find One Dice World War I seems to be, but seems to have enough, details and whatnot to make some things happen. But man, oh man, have I got some good games cooking. Those are just the ones that I think I really want to get to for 2025. There's a zillion other ones that are, oh my god, actually there's one other one I keep forgetting about too as well. Oh, I did get this in the post recently, I think I did mention, is that I got that relatively, I thought I got this at a half decent price. I think I paid $75 in total Canadian. I'm rather surprised at how heavy it is. Oh my god, you're not going to believe what I got. Okay, it's not the expansion kit, but Meandering Mike did say, why don't you just try to figure out where you can find a print and play variant, or look for something if you can download and do your printing magic and make your own counters and so on and so forth. And he's absolutely right. I can. I found an image for the counters, all the counters, super good resolution of all the expansion counters for the decision game Storm of Steel. I ended up getting a brand new a unopened copy of Storm of Steel. As far as I know, it's unopened. But listen to this: after tax and after shipping, $85 Canadian. Are you kidding me? I freaked right the hell out. Anyways, I do want to play one of the scenarios in this. It's also from Decision Games, Over the Top. But the scenario I want to play is the Brusilov offensive. They have it in here. So I'd like to give that a go for sure. And you can see some of that. I'm not going to... We'll do that later. Well, if I'm going to play it, I'm certainly going to bring it out, and we'll be taking a look at that at some point in time. So I've got a lot of fun stuff, I think, and of course I've got the narrative game that's going to be going on, and it's going to be going into overdrive and the live stream stuff, and I get to follow everybody else's stuff that they're up to this 2025, which is just going to be awesome. And oh my gosh, and then there's the postcards from the front and all that stuff, Hissy Cat's event, contest, whatever you want to call it, challenge, I guess is the best way to put it. Yeah, I think challenge is the good way of doing it. Anyways, that's it. Hopefully that went well. All right, see you later. And yep, that's it.